And I am back here on the channel. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying YouTuber slash villain ever. Mr. General Zod. And welcome to my channel. So, today, about as exciting as this review is going to be that intro. I'm doing Picard episode 5, Starport Gaze. It's a stupid title. Where do I start? Alright, so what are the high points of this episode for me? 7 of 9. That's it. You expected anything else? Are you expecting anything new? This episode, okay, Jonathan Frakes directing, I can see how the dialogue is cleaner, people are on cue a lot more, but the problems with the writing can't be fixed by a competent director. The writer that's writing the script is still in charge of writing the scenes and the scripts, and the director just directs the action. And yes, you can fail on having a piss-poor director, but you can also fail by having a non-coherent, non-competent, stupid-ass story. You know, for the purposes of this review, I don't even remember half these dumb names because they're so convoluted, made-up sci-fi garbage that I'm just gonna say different cues and you'll know who I'm talking about. So, in the casino city, evil casino lady is in charge, and we have a scene in the beginning where 7 of 9's partner, I guess, a former Borg person turned human, because now I guess that's a thing, everyone can just be reverted back. Even though it was stated that was hard to do. Whatever. I've given up on any semblance of continuity. So, we start with a torture scene with this dude's eye getting ripped out. And here's the thing. I'm not one of those people who is against change or going a little bit darker. But this is like, dude's eye was being pulled out of its socket. And it wasn't for anything purposeful except for, oh, we're edgy. This is the Snyder version of Star Trek, and it's like, this doesn't fit in the universe. Now, you can still be edgier, have some blood, maybe a little bit of language. I was fine with a couple of things that they threw in, but this is over the top for the sake of being over the top. The violence does not enhance the story. Look, violence being put into stuff is normally to illustrate the seriousness or how very real a situation is. Let me give you an example. The Joker, right? Spoiler warning, if you haven't seen it, then my God, I don't know what you've been doing. But when he kills Mary at the ending with the gun, why was that an effective scene? Because he turns around and goes bam, and you don't see it coming. This is very meticulously shot. You know what's going to happen. And at this point, it takes the impact out of the scene. And I know I'm starting at the very first scene, so hang in there. There's quite a bit of things that burn me about this episode. But this whole notion that they have to curse, and it's all forced. Especially when you had an episode of Trek that specifically said they were more refined, so they didn't need to use language. It's like Kirksman Trek has never watched Trek. They have an idea of what it is. They've been told by a friend. Maybe they watched an episode or two with a buddy, and they said, I can do that darker, edgier, and grittier. It's terrible. Okay, so we go on with this moment, and 7 of 9 has to kill this person who's like a son to them, I guess in Borg speak, you know, kind of like, you know, killing someone you were in the factory with. And then we cut to present day, and they're sneaking into the city. They're finally to this doctor, professor guy that's supposed to move along this plot, because they took a whole episode getting a ninja from Rivendell And, yeah, we didn't need the useless subplot. Go see my episode 4. That was terrible with warrior nuns. Anyways, so they're on this mission, and they're going to use disguises. Now, this part I liked. It reminded me of old Trek, them, beaming in, like maybe doing a holodeck thing, like when Q took over their holodeck, made it all wonky, and they had to go through different time periods and things like that. But this is so terribly the acting is astonishingly bad. Okay, now, I like the pilot, Rios, but once again, he's such a accumulation of other better characters. He's a Malcolm Reynolds. He has no identity of his own. He's every other tortured soul captain that we've ever seen. And Picard is a shell of the cool badass he used to be. He's broken down. He lets people talk to him however the hell they want to. No pushback. He just surrenders. No rusing speech. I have yet to see one good Picard speech except for in flashbacks. This man does not give any really good, heartfelt speeches, nuggets of wisdom. If we're going with the retired route, why can't he give one good, inspirational, motivational speech to get the crew going? No, nothing. This crew is so by the numbers and so generic. And the end that happens, I totally called it, and I'm glad it's the character that I hate, because honestly, I hope they kill that science officer. She's so annoying. That blonde-haired chick just bugs me. Her whole arc is stupid. She has no reason for being on this crew. She has no charisma, no likability, no nothing. And there's some characters that can pull that off. Go watch Lost in Space, an actually good reboot. Like, that version of, the Robinsons, and more importantly, the doctor dude there, played by a woman, that was actually good. She adds something to the character. This girl's just in it because they need a science officer, and really, what else does she do but complain and annoy the shit out of everyone? That's her role. Nothing else. Nothing. She has not said one scientific thing since she came on board that made any sense. She just butts into people's business and annoy people while they're trying to read a book. So 7 of 9 is like, oh, I got some stuff to do, but, I'm going to fuck off real quick. Of course, it's obvious she's coming back in a later scene. Now, they get down to this planet, and it's run by this overtly evil female who controls gambling and things like that, and Rios has to pass this whole thing with this big alien thing that can smell the pheromones. That it was weird. I didn't get the point of this character. They didn't feel imposing. They looked like a giant rock thing. You guys ever see Guardians of the Galaxy? They look like that rock dude, only not as funny and no charisma. That's no one has charisma. Okay, so they get on this planet. They get the doctor dude, but shit goes sideways because 7 of 9 comes back, and apparently this chick was close with 7 of 9, but she was actually siphoning Borg parts because it's become a big thing where they're selling Borg tech underground. And my thing is, what about the old programming? Like, what if you put an eye in someone and, like, it clicks to, like, a mothership out there still somewhere and they get activated? Like, no one... I'm sorry. You have to have good writers to account for this stuff. And I heard Gary from Nerdrotic bring this up, and it's very true. The scenery... I just got done watching Altered Carbon, and I'll have a review up for that to get ready for Season 2 of Altered Carbon. And the aesthetics for this episode, and this city looks like the city that's the opening city shot for Altered Carbon. I swear to God, ripped off from that. It is... Fuck this show, man. I am having such a hard time. And it's not because it's on the horrendous writing of Batwoman, where that's just a terrible show. It has spots where it could be good, But the writers are lazy, contrived, and think they know science fiction. And really, they're not doing a Star Trek. They're doing a science fiction show. This isn't a Star Trek, folks. This isn't really even about Picard. This is about a man who once was Picard with his sidekicks. That's what the show is. So, things go crazy. Seven of Nine is like, get out of here, I'm gonna take care of stuff, blah, blah, blah. She beams back up with them and then beams down, and she's all like, okay, this part was cool. I love the actress who plays Seven of Nine. This was probably the highlight of this episode. Like, she goes back through and blasts the shit out of, like, all of these guards. And I buy this because Seven of Nine is an established character from a better show that earned her cred. I don't buy her being crossed into the Next Gen world because they're years apart. And as far as I know, there's a timeline, but apparently, according to STD, there's no timeline. So we're not doing timeline anymore. Fuck timeline. But, okay, throwing that out, her scenes are fairly good. I like when she goes through, she's doing the double blast, here's and blasting everyone. That felt sci-fi, but it didn't feel Trek. Because there's no backup, and it felt like revenge. Her whole character is driven by revenge, and it feels out of character because it feels like she went through an arc in Voyager to get what it means to be human, right? And to beat the Borg programming and her innate things to just do stuff because it's the logical choice to do it. Instead, she starts to learn about humanity, and I feel like it goes against what was established in her character now for her to fall into the most basis of human emotions, and that's rage and wanting revenge. And while it makes for cool visuals, it's terrible story-wise. And that is the point of this show. This is why people are having a hard time, because this show has choppy storytelling and character motives are unclearly defined. And of course, Dr. Lady turns out being evil. Dun dun dun! Didn't care, fuck her. I hope she gets killed. Terrible character, whatever. I don't care she's evil. And this is the thing. This plot turn of her watching this guy die, the guy that they needed, should have been impactful. But it doesn't surprise me because she shows up out of nowhere, the crew accepts her like buddy, and it's a ham-fisted, half-hearted way to make a character turn. It's... So what do I think? The show's shot. Well, okay, let's not kid ourselves. They know how to shoot the show. They put the budget into it. The writing is choppy. The story arcs are all over the place. I have no clue where the fuck this whole thing is intersecting. And I saw the scenes for the next episode, and I have hopes that when they introduce the Borg... if you mess up the Borg, Picard, if you mess up the Borg, it doesn't matter that you disabled comments, CBS All Access. I will go to your studios, and I will fucking post a note on your fucking door. Okay? Don't fuck with my Borgs. Anyways, what can I say? This is a terrible episode. I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. I hated everything about this except for 7 of 9. They degrade Jean-Luc again. 7 of 9's got to get her shots in. She doesn't probably even fucking know him because we don't know where the timeline is. But, she's a woman. He's a guy. Put him down. Fuck it. And I was saying that I was looking at this as a casual viewer, okay? And now, as a casual viewer, I don't understand, how you can understand this story. And as a fan, this story is so convoluted and all over the place. I don't get it. Anyways, I'm so irritated. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And God, shoot me comments. Let me know what you think of this abortion dumpster fire of a garbage series as we mercifully round our finale. I'm hoping that the last 3 episodes really pull this together and I see what the plan is. Because if I've wasted my time, I'm burning all access to the ground. Anyways, thank you very much. And as always, remember, watch a better show. Fuck.